Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bridgewalkers. We are here December 20th. We've got Sparkles, the amazing sparkly man, and Rev Ned, the other amazing sparkly man, and me, Michele Amburgey. And we're going to start with Rev Ned's amazing Bridgewalker video. We're going to share that, and then we'll move on from there. So everybody take a nice deep breath and enjoy this beautiful video.
Beautiful people. Welcomers. Greetings and beautiful high energies to each one of you from here at the bridge at Pyford Park. It is a place I asked my wife to marry me 47 plus years ago. You talk about creating wonderful bridges. Today's Bridgewaters program for you is on the topic of weathering storms in our lives and cycles of life. We will look at the directions of the north and the Lakota Way, which is directly north. We will look at the direction of the north and how the bison can teach us from the north. In the presence of the buffalo calf woman, we will discuss the winter solstice and energies of transformation. So, this bridge faces north and south. That is straight north. It is straight north right there. We are bridges, like this bridge. We're portals. Remember, you're the captain of your bridge. Grandpa Fool's Crow, a very holy man of the Lakota Ways at Pine Ridge, who crossed over in 1989, taught the north as a color red and brings the energies of procreation and health and control. We can expand these words like procreation of the Latin roots, meaning bring forth, to create. And the Proto-Indo-European root means to grow. We are to grow and become the entity we came here to be. We can take the word health and expand beyond physical health. What about our mental health and emotional health and our higher self-health? There's a health to our home space. There's a health to the land where we live. We can do the same with the word control. Remember, you're the captain of your ship. You're in control of what energies you allow in. You're in control of what energies to release. When storms come your way, you're in control of how to go through these storms. Rev is not just talking about weather storms, but financial storms and relationship storms, health and accident storms, storms of knowing what you believe to be true once is not true now, which many people are going through. The north direction and the bison can teach us many things how to go through our storms. The north brings the cold and the harsh winds of the winter season. The leaves fall to remind us what we need to leave behind. And the north teaches the earth mother rest. So if we learn from the bison and face the storms, not only face our storms, but walk into the storms, we will procreate, grow, and expand our energies of patience and endurance of the more. In general, the direction of the north represents trials and tribulations that we traverse through, just like the bison. So the bison people teach us with their hooves and their ways to always stay grounded to the earth. By the way, there's a National Bison Day on the first Saturday in November, and the American bison is the national mammal of the United States. Bison do turn directly into the paths of the approaching storm and move into the storm. It's a power point for us. Why? It minimizes the amount of pain and frustration they experience from the winter storm. Why? They get out of the storm weather quicker. Bison are energy minimizers to survive in the winter. They do not run around exerting a lot of effort when their energy needs to be guarded, controlled, and regulated in the cold. Here is the procreation and health and control energies wrapped into the bison. Do we beautiful ones waste energies on bad bridges that do not help us but hinder us? let's say, worrying energies, unforgiveness energies, pointing to others and judging other energies, or the oh me, oh my energies, like Eeyore. These energies can be better spent on higher energies like pure love and patience and control and thanksgiving and joy and hope and expanding our essence. One of the lessons that supports a Rev Ned belief is learning and expanding how love for ourselves is a form of procreation and health and control. Learning and cultivating a love for ourselves helps reduce much wasted energies and helps our physical and spiritual metabolisms. Enjoy this program. Michele has wonderful things to share. Dean has a song and more for you, and I have a true sacred bison snow story to share that you'll love. Please stay with us, wonderful ones, here on Bridgewalkers. Yepper, you are amazing. Thank you for coming and watching us tonight.
That guy's crazy.
I love your videos. They're so fun. You do such a beautiful job. Thank you so much.
Did you see the crow flying around? When I started, there was
Yes.
one crow, and when we were putting equipment up, two came.
I
And it was
love
like, okay,
it.
that's where we got engaged. So there was two.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it. What a great video. I hope everybody enjoyed that. It's just you just do such a great job. So enjoyable. I get so enthralled, and like as you're getting towards the end, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to do something. Oh, what a blessing. Thank you, Rev Ned. You
You're
know, you
welcome.
bring such wisdom with such joy, and it really is that energy of pure love. It really is, and it's just so sacred. Thank you. Thank you. And
You're
we're
welcome.
here
You're welcome. You're
for
welcome.
bison today and for the direction of north. And you know, bison or buffalo, and I realize they're two different animals, but we often intermix those words. But in some of the teachings that I've had and studies that I've done, it's really neat because bison represents the all. Bison represents the universe, right? Tatanka Oyate, the four directions, the four legs. He stands on the four legs connected to the earth and grounded into the earth, like you were talking about. And it's so beautiful because that's what we're talking about today. And we're all in that space of standing in the north and facing the storms. You know, the world has gone a little bit cuckoo, and we're all needing to call upon that inner bison, that bison within that can face the storm and can stand strong. It's amazing what bisons do. I mean, they stand and they face those storms, and sometimes those winds are howling at 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. They get snow drifts built up on their bodies, and they just stand there strong. And they're just such amazing animals. And because we're all one, understanding that, you know, we're all together in this, we have that inner bison. We have that inner being within us that can stand strong in the face of hardships. And so we are the bison. And so as we're moving into, you know, this coming year, some of the changes and shifts that are going to be happening, remember you have an inner bison. You have that inner buffalo, that the Tatanka. Remember, oh, what was that great movie that everybody did saw? Tatanka with Kevin Costner.
Dancing with
Dances
Wolves.
with Wolves. Yeah. Everybody learned. Everybody learned the sacred word for the buffalo, the tatonka, right? And it's so cool. That is something that always stuck with me. It's such a beautiful word, and I speak it with absolute love for tatanka, tatanka oyate. So thank you so much. And what I always like to do is just start with a little prayer and just invite in well, let's just all take a nice deep breath. We'll start with a little prayer, and then we'll go from there. So everybody just take a nice deep breath and just feel into your heart and feel your inner bison. Feel your inner buffalo. Feel that beautiful buffalo within you. That strength that you have. And we just call upon the universe, the universal energies. We call upon Mother God and Father God. We call upon Great Spirit. We call upon all of the animals. We call upon the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds. We call upon the winged ones and those that swim in the waters. And we call upon the creepy crawlers that crawl upon and within the earth. And we call upon the wisdom and the greatness and the sacred light and love that dwells within all of us. And we call upon our own inner space. We call upon that place within us that is sacred and holy. And we stand in that now so that we're not buffeted, that we're not pushed over or pushed around by the storms around us, but we stand strong within us. And when we call upon the all that is, all of our relations, all of our connections, call upon the star families and the great inner earth beings, and call upon the four directions. We call upon the power of creation, understanding it is within and around us. We stand strong when the world becomes tough and hard, and we know that we can do it. We know we can make it because we're not alone. We're part of the all. We're all brothers and sisters. And so just understanding that, we all take a nice deep breath, breathing in and breathing out. And you can just say, I am that I am. I am sacred. I am. And as we speak it, so it is. So thank you guys. I always love to end prayers with abracadabra. As I speak it, so it is done. So how's everybody doing? Is everybody ready for Christmas? I know we got Christmas coming up. We are in the midst of Hanukkah. It is the time of the return of the light, right? This is what this season is about. And Hanukkah, they're lighting the menorah. Wonderful. Aisha's with us and Nancy. Kevin Nader's here. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here at this time of the return of the light, right? That's the whole thing with Hanukkah is they light each of the candles on the menorah. It's the return of the light. Christmas and the birth of Christ is the return of the sun, S-U-N-S-O-N. And there's many traditions that are tied into that. A lot of people think this is just a teaching from 2,000 years ago. And we start looking into history, it is throughout so many different traditions. And the solstice energy, when we tap into the cycles, last show we talked about the cycles of life. We're going to go a little bit deeper into that too, where everything has a cycle, everything has its space and its time, and we're getting to the longest night, the last night, which is tonight, is the longest night, and tomorrow the light begins to return. It shifts. We're shifting into it. And the light within us, the light within all things, begins to grow. So we're doing this in a very sacred time. So we welcome all of you here. And we're so grateful that you're here and those that watch it later. And I'm so happy to be here with Dana, our Sparkles, and Rev Ned, and just to be here in this beautiful energy of love. And that's really what we're about. We're here to hold that space of love. And I want to share with everybody that yesterday, Rev Ned and Sparkles and I got together and just to chat about our show. And as I got on this, I just, oh my gosh, I feel like crying. When I got together with these two beautiful men, my heart just started growing and growing. I felt like the Grinch, his heart got 5 times too big. And it just was amazing. And so I really invite you to open your hearts to the teachings and to what they're bringing as well. It's just such a blessing and such a beautiful presence. And RevNed, I know that you had stuff that you wanted to share. Dana's going to bring us a song. So who wants to start? Who wants to begin with this? What do you guys think?
If Mr. Dana's ready, Mr. Sparkles Roo.
Mr. Sparkles.
If he's singing the song, I think maybe we should do that first. If he's ready.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. I got a story to tell too. That's totally.
Let's do it. Bring it, brother.
So here's a Four Direction honoring song, and it goes perfectly in line with the story I got to share.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild, a walk yellow high. It's wild, a walk yellow high. Well, beata was the ata, oh, yambata. It's Oklahoma, walk out down, Macau town. It's wow, and Jay wow, yellow, Namago. It's wow, Jay wow, yellow. It's wow. I walk yellow high, waziata, wayo yambata. It's Oklahoma, walk out town, Macau town. It's wow, Jay walk yellow, Namaku. Oh.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So I had my first baby super young.
Oh.
I was 18. She was in a car seat that I could carry, that I had to hook in. So she was less than a year old. So, and I was renting the house that I grew up in from my parents, and I had just pulled up on the south side of the road, right in front of the house, in front of the easement or whatever. And I got out of the car and I went around to unbuckle her and get her out. And I'm bent over into the car, and this is in just a cookie cutter subdivision, houses, 50-foot lots, and I'm bent over inside the car, getting her out, getting her unstrapped so I could take her in the house. And it was daylight. It was, middle of the afternoon, and out of nowhere, from behind me, from the south, coming north, like come these hoof prints, like this thunderous feet hitting the ground behind me, and it was on a charge coming right at me from behind me, and it was vibrating. It was shaking the ground. So I quick whip my head out and I turn around and I as soon as I look in that direction, and like there's nothing there, it's just it's it was like something the size of a real buffalo or a dinosaur, like charged me from the south from the south to the north, like right up. It was like right by the time I turned around, it was like right up my rear end is what it felt like. It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna get hit by something, and like there was nothing there.
Whoa.
But was there, like if I mean it was somewhere. It was somewhere, maybe everywhere.
Yeah.
and
Wow.
so like, you know, this, and if to this day, that one still baffles me, because, you know, every now and then you have just these little weird incidents that the modern man would just love to snuff off and chalk up as you know, who knows, just, you know, nonsense. But like, when they stick hard in you like that, you know, like, and it feels like something, you know, the size of whatever's, you know, trying to run up your rear end, and you have a tendency of remembering it, you know, and going back on it, and reflecting, and you know, why do these things happen? Why what do we think we are, you know? And every bit of that, you know, that buffalo, and the more, the great, you know, the great mystery, the more all that's out there, it's all this coming from in there.
Yep.
Yeah, so like, which one's where, you know, like, good luck, you know. which inspired what, you know, if this feels that alignment, you know, or, you know, which one's leading what, you know. I mean, it's both kind of happening simultaneously in both ways. It's this two-way, you know, the umbilical cord, you know,
Yeah.
through the nervous system, basically.
Yes. Wow. I like how you put a bison or a dinosaur or something.
It was so
huge.
the footprints were so heavy and so individually huge. I can't tell. I cannot tell. I can't say. But like, you know, the ground was literally shaking underneath me you know, like, as it started getting close to me, and I'm, you know, because like, I thought it was some kind of like fireworks on the next street over or something like that, you know, because it was a subdivision, and you know, there's always some kind of weird noise happening for some reason, you know. But that one, I wasn't ready for that.
Wow. Buffalo was getting your attention.
Yeah. It got my attention that day. with and it was very great mystery oriented.
Wow.
You know, it's just so, like, you know, and they say that, you know, we can only see, you know, you know, like, what, 0.003% of our spectrum or whatever. So, like, how many spectrums are going on at the same time? You know, that we can't, how many overlays, you know, in that way, realities are overlapping, that just, they're not, you know, they're either above us a little bit too much for us to, you know, to be able to see through that veil, or below us a little bit for us to see too much into that, you know. And like, there's, you know, it's like a finely tuning a TV. That's what we are,
right?
You know.
Wow. Now I have to ask you something, because I feel like that buffalo was also related to your daughter. Is she bison people?
She seems to be.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like that she's like that big brother was coming for her too. That was cool.
Yes.
She's her willpower is strong, and she'll, when she makes decisions, there, you know, like, you know, there it is, and you know, it's something to appreciate and honor, you know, as much as we might wish it might not be so strong sometimes. but like it's just, a lot is allowing for everybody to be themselves,
Wow.
and just knowing that I need to make room for more of that in the future, and
Wow.
yeah.
It's funny. I see Yoda like going, the force is strong with that one. You can feel her power. Yay! White buffalo is here.
I can't get it to hang. I have two little stories before we hopefully will talk about the buffalo calf woman.
Yes. Thank you.
Wife and
Dana.
that was awesome. Thank you, Dana Sparkaroo. We were down at Land Between the Lakes, down in the Kentucky, as some would say, Kentucky. And they had a buffalo herd down there. This is before kids, okay? BC, before children. And we were up. Diane was at the fence, and I used to love to take pictures with cameras. Now, these cell phones have put some photographers out of business, to be honest with you. And I was taking a picture of her, and there was a buffalo at the fence, and she was giving it some grass, loving on it and being nice to it. She's got all kinds of animal stories from our camping excursions. And the next thing we know, even when because I had the camera up like to my eyes, right? And as quick, kind of what happened to Dana, as quick as it could, and Diane was right there by the fence. Another buffalo came up and hit her head, and tumbled. She tumbled. And, I thought something really bad had happened to her. Because, she got hit so hard. How many people have butted heads with a buffalo? One going full blast. And she's still here. I'm not going to say any more than that, but she's still here. And maybe it was getting ready to deal with me and children and all the next many, many years of our life. So that was one buffalo story.
Preparation for you.
And the other one, this was in 1979, BC, before children. And we decided, it was in November, to go out west for, I think it was 3 weeks. It was snowed so much. So, we're camping, and it snowed so much. You could not get in to Yellowstone unless you had a 4-wheel drive. So we had a 4-wheel drive pickup truck that we drove out there. And, I'm out with my camera taking pictures and looking. And I saw, cool, there's a buffalo herd over that way, and they're grazing, eating, and that kind of stuff. And all of us, and I walked over, and there was in an open area, and they were across the road. And I thought, this would be a great angle. Then all of a sudden, they look at me, and it's snowing. It's very cold out. And all of a sudden, they start running full blast across the road and into this meadow area where I'm at. And there's nowhere for me to hide. And there's a whole herd charging. You can see them snorting and all the snow. It looked like a movie. And a voice said, stand perfectly still. Do not be afraid. Fear. Do not be fearful. So I did. I sat there, and Diane's watching all of this in the truck, and I'm out there, and I could smell them. They came so close to my body, a whole herd, and ran like this around me. Snow flying. I could smell them, smell that fragrance. It almost felt like I could feel their fur hitting me when they were running. Thank you. That was nice to have that help. But
Wow.
It was amazing spiritual experience that I thought, because they were coming right towards me, and then they just went around me, and I thought, this is pretty cool.
Wow.
This is pretty cool. So that's my bison story from out in Yellowstone.
I'd like to share my bison story from out in Yellowstone. That is so cool. I had totally forgotten.
Your turn.
Yay, yay. I had totally forgotten about it until you were just talking. We were up there in Yellowstone, beautiful Montana. Oh my gosh, God's country. And we were just coming into Yellowstone, and we were told that nobody had seen the bison for a while. Don't plan on seeing the bison. There's elk, there's other things, blah, blah, blah. So we're driving in the park and we're getting kind of deep in there. And all of a sudden they appear. And I was there to see the bison, moose and bison. And all of a sudden about 8 of them started coming up, came across the road. And one of them stopped and turned and looked at us. And I swear that bison was looking me straight in the eyes. And I heard in my head, I see you. And I just was transfixed. And all of a sudden, the windows were down a little bit, and I got that scent. And that's what reminded me of it. I could smell the bison. I could smell that musky. Oh God, you can't even describe it. And it was so cool. It was like just that. I see you. And he just sat there, and everybody crossed the road. So he must have been like the head bison boss. And as soon as everybody got across, then he just did that snort that they do, and he carried on his way. But it was just like so powerful. You could just feel that. Boom, boom,
Yes.
boom, boom. Wow. A lot of respect for those big dudes. They're huge.
Yeah.
I understand.
When they were running towards me, the earth was doing this. And I was like, you could feel it. So all the senses were kicked in. And it was a very sacred time. It really was.
And it engages the limbic brain too, because it engages that part of the brain that's like fight or flight. Like, holy cow, something's big is coming. Do I run? Do I stay here? Do I pass out? Do I wet myself? Like, what do I do? Because it hits like those deep parts of you, because they are such powerful animals and huge.
Remember the story I just said about Diane? She got hit in the head with one. I wasn't strong enough to take that. They just kind of went around me. He can't take it, so they just went. They went around me. She's the strong one.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Poof. That'll open your third eye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read the story of Buffalo Calf Woman. I was going to try to do it in the proper way, and I decided I couldn't. I wasn't going to stress out about it. So I wanted to read this story about white buffalo calf woman. And the reason I wanted to do this is we were talking about the North, and I have such respect for bison, for the buffalo, and have such a deep connection to them. And when I was studying in the goddess traditions, white buffalo calf woman was one of the goddesses that came to me and said that she wanted to work with me. But she said that she was like working kind of like in the background, in the subconscious. And she said that some days that she will come out and she will be a part of more of my life and be more of a part of my life. And when she first came out very powerfully, I was living in a situation where I was a little bit in danger, and I didn't realize that it was dangerous until she started coming into my dreams. And she would just come with the white buffalo, with the white bison, and she would just walk and walk into me, and then walk and walk into me. And she came night after night. And I didn't know what it was, but there was something within me that was like, I need to make a change here. I need to make a move here. I need to make a decision. I can't stay here. And after the third night that she had come to me, something really bad had happened where I was at. And it was like, I knew, boom, I got to get out of here. And literally in 24 hours. I was packed and I was like on my way. But it was that influence and her bringing the awareness to me. And so that's why she's always been such a great, powerful guide to me. And so I'm going to read this story. So, before the appearance of Buffalo Calf Woman, the Indian honored the Great Spirit. But for the Sioux, the coming of Buffalo Calf Woman brought a most important instrument, the pipe, which is now used in all ceremony. The sacred pipe came into being many, many, many years ago. Two men of the Sioux tribe were hunting when they saw something approaching in the distance. And as the figure grew close, they observed a beautiful maiden, attired in white buckskin and carrying a bundle wrapped in a buffalo hide. As she walked towards them, she sang out and she repeated, "Behold me, for I come in a sacred manner. I am walking." And one of the men had evil thoughts about this beautiful maiden and moved towards her. And the other Sioux tried forcibly to restrain him, but the evil warrior pushed the good warrior away. A cloud descended and engulfed the evil one, and when it lifted, his body was a skeleton being devoured by worms, symbolizing that one who lives in ignorance and has evil in their hearts may be destroyed by their own actions. The good warrior knelt in fear, trembling as the buckskin-clad maiden approached. And she spoke to him, telling him to fear not and to return to his people and prepare them for her coming. And the warrior did so. And the maiden appeared, and she came to them, walking among them in a sunwise direction, which is clockwise. She held forth her bundle and she said, "In this bundle is a sacred pipe, which must always be treated in a holy way. No impure man or woman should ever see it. With this sacred pipe, you will send your voices to Wakantanka, to the Great Spirit, to the Creator of all, your father and your grandfather. With this sacred pipe, you will walk upon the earth, which is your grandmother, your mother, and all of your steps should be holy. The bowl of the pipe is red stone, which represents the earth. A buffalo calf is carved in the stone facing the center, and it symbolizes the four-legged creatures who live as brothers among you. The stem is wood and represents all growing things. 12 feathers hang from where the stem fits the bowl, from the spotted eagle, and these represent all of the winged brothers who live among you. All of these things are joined to you, who will smoke the pipe and send voices to Wakantanka. When you use this pipe to pray, you will pray for and with everything. The sacred pipe binds you to all of your relatives, your grandfather and your father, to your grandmother and your mother. The red stone represents the Mother Earth on which you live. The earth is red, and the two-leggeds who live upon her are also red. Wakantanka has given you a red road, a good and straight road to travel. And you must remember that all people who stand on this earth are sacred. And from this day, the sacred pipe will stand on the red earth, and you will send your voices to Wakantanka. And she taught them to raise their pipe to the sky, to grandfather, and towards the earth, to grandmother, and to each of the four directions, the directions that include the entire universe. There are 7 circles on this stone, which represent the 7 rites in which you will use this pipe. The buffalo calf woman then instructed the people to send messengers to the different bands of the Sioux Nation and to bring in the leaders, the medicine people, and the holy ones. And when the people gathered, she instructed them in their sacred ceremonies. She told them of the first rite of the keeping of the soul. And she told them that the remaining 6 rites would be revealed to them through visions. As she prepared to leave, she said, "Remember how sacred the pipe is, and treat it in a sacred manner, for it will be with you always. Remember also, in me are 4 ages, and I shall leave you. But I shall look upon you in every age, and I will return in the end." And the Sioux begged the woman to stay among them. They promised to build a fine lodge and let her select a great warrior to provide for her. But she declined their offer. "No, the Creator above, the Great Spirit, is happy with you now. You, the grandchildren, you have listened well to my teachings, but now I must return to the spirit world." And she walked some distance away and sat down. And when she arose, she had become the great white buffalo calf. And she walked further and bowed to the 4 corners of the universe and then disappeared into the distance. And her sacred bundle was left with the people. And to this day, a Sioux family, the keepers of the sacred bundle, still guards that bundle and its contents on one of the Sioux reservations. Today, our ceremonies have supplanted some of the original 7 ceremonies taught by Buffalo Calf women. The sun dance, the sweat lodge, and the vision quest are still major ceremonies that are widely practiced. The pipe ceremony itself is now used to open gatherings, meetings, and sweat lodges. The pipe ceremony is used in naming ceremonies, in which one is given an earth or Indian name. It's also used in Indian marriage ceremonies. In times of religious persecution, the visible ceremonies had to go underground. Sweat lodges, which were common around most lodges and teepees in the early reservation days, started to disappear when Christian missionaries began to entrench their power with governmental authorities. The pipe was much easier to hide. Sioux spirituality thus came to depend for its secret expression upon that pipe. Now the Native Americans have won back their religious freedom. The pipe ceremony remains established. The Buffalo Calf woman told the Sioux where to find the sacred red stone to make the peace pipe. And in the pipestone quarries in southwestern Minnesota, near the town of Pipestone, the Sioux and all other Indian nations gather for their red stone in peace. They also travel to and from the quarries in peace. No warfare is ever allowed. Peace councils were often held in this place. Mother Earth is now in grave danger. Why not turn to ceremony, at least to get the feeling and the message that Mother Earth must live? She is speaking to us quite strongly already. Let her speak also in ceremony. We can gain a special resolve by communicating with the ceremonies. That's why we have them. By listening to nature through nature based ceremonies, we can be like the Sioux. Deforestation, the thinning of the ozone layer, global warming, overpopulation, and the pollutions of streams and rivers and oceans present great odds, but we can adapt. We can live, and our planet can survive. We must turn to the pipe ceremonies again and learn to listen to the mother and the father and the great ones. Aho.
Thank you. You know, Michele, when you were reading that, it brought back a lot of memories when we go into, I want to say specifically sweat lodges at Uncle Dave's. Specifically, we'd go in there. I would feel her presence. When we've prayed with the Chinoopa, I felt her presence. And I've had personal experiences with Mary, Mother Mary, coming to me and seeing in those eyes
Yeah.
full of light and power. And I'm sure it was the same with these 2 warriors, these 2 hunters, that she transfixed them. Because that's what Mary has done to me when she's come to this density density, and I've seen her and experienced her, and I've talked with her several times. That's never happened with Buffalo Calf with me, but I felt her presence many times in sweat lodges, and I said with the tuna in other places too.
Yeah.
When we're doing ceremonies that aren't connected in any native way, it's like I feel her presence. I feel her that she's nearby.
Yeah.
And it just there's so many stories about her.
Yeah.
Because it's oral, right? It's oral. Right. But I think one of the important keys is that I got to keep telling me sacred, that a woman came from higher density, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brought the chnupa, the sacred pipe. She brought meaning. She brought essence, life, connections, more higher connection. Yeah. She brought hope, 4-letter word, hope, to the people.
Yeah.
And she did say, as this is in the solstice, tomorrow's the shortest, the shortest day, the longest night, that she would come. She would come back. Many of the higher density beings say they'll come back when it's time. They'll come back. And she said that too.
Yeah.
In many of the stories.
And she returns when the pipe is used as well. It is her sacred blessing for all the people. And it's not just for Native Americans. It's for all of us too, to learn the sacred ceremonies and to learn that. And that's one of the things I really am so grateful for, especially the Lakota people who have started allowing all to experience the sacred things like the sweat lodges and the preparation, the UEP, the Inipi, the Vision Quest, the Sun Dancers, and the special one, the keeping of the soul, the remembering of the ancestors and how important that is. And, it was kept secret and so many of the ceremonies and the ways of the Native American people were taken when the white man came in, Washishu, came in, and they had to hide these things. And they're so brave to bring that out again and to let us all learn about it. And I really honor them. And it's really neat that White Buffalo Calf woman went to the Sioux Nations, right? Because Lakota is one of the arms of the Sioux Nations, and to bring that forth for her. And I really feel like her modern message, is to return to ceremony and to return to some of the old ways and return to the sacred things and remember that we are all connected and that we are all, each of us, sacred and holy, and to begin to operate in our lives and in our worlds and in our hearts in a sacred manner and find our way back there. Because that was her gift. That's what brought humanity together. And it's time for us to come together again.
It's interesting that the Lakota, they're geographically they are, they're all over the Midwest, Midwest, so that they kind of represent the heart of America. And the pipe represents the heart of the people. And like so to scale that out, we're all on this journey, whether and like the pipe is not it's what's interesting is that the pipe is not something that is inhaled. So like you're not it's about transforming these things directly to spirit, and not it's about serving spirit, not ourself. And at the same time it's honoring self. And like so beyond those, just to say that it's a Lakota, red pipe ceremony. Well, we each of us are, we are a pipe ceremony. It begins in our, it begins in our hearts, and it comes out out our voice box. And so like and everything we say we have a capacity to frame things, circumstances, and the pipe is an opportunity to form an agreement upon a specific framing. If you pull a pipe out, everybody's like, oh, hey, something sacred's about to happen here, and that's already pre-framed. Everybody knows that this stuff happens. There's no limits to what's possible, but when a pipe gets pulled out, something seriously sacred is in process. And as we psychologically accept that, we're physically open to that plausibility. It's more of a it's a potential plausibility than just a regular possibility, a remote possibility. We're magnetizing that circumstance and to say, hey, I accept this could happen, it doesn't matter how. It's like, and so we're connecting to our own inner voice when we pull that pipe out. We're loading it with the sacred stuff. We're singing, pipe filling songs, and direction songs are the first thing that come out, because it's all about the framing. It's about framing what we want to see in a sacred way, and like if we, the more we learn how to live like our pipe is loaded, right?
Ooh, yeah.
We are future framing. I believe that. I wholeheartedly believe it.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. Live like our pipe is loaded. Yeah.
That's very, very true. To make a bridge connection, the chanupa, the pipe, is that sacred bridge between the sacred beneath, right? I gotta get up here to do it. And the sacred above.
Yeah.
And just like we're hollow bones. We're hollow bones. So there's so many incredible connections, cosmic connections, divine connections. It's just amazing. And thank you for those words, Dana. Thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful. So good.
Mikey's got buffalo energy, and
he is loving this. He's my we call him the little Black Panther with white trim, white socks. This is so beautiful. Rev Ned, did you have something that you wanted to add? I feel like there was something that you had said that you wanted to add. You don't have to, though.
Well,
I'm
no,
like,
I got
like.
No, I was. I'm still with the solstice tomorrow.
Yeah.
And there is something that I wasn't planning on sharing. On the 20th of December a year ago, that was a year ago, right? Today's the 20th.
Yep.
It was on the 9th. It happened what? The 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. Okay. I'm supposedly laying in bed, dying, sleeping. We have that sea stuff. And I'm not feeling good and sick. So on the 19th, I'm in bed by myself sleeping. I have a sheet. I have a white blanket. And then I have a quilt that covers me because I get cold easy now with chronic Lyme. When I woke up, the sheet had been pulled out and put on top. Okay. That was on the 19th. And it's like, okay, little people, the Nomi people. My chair just went down. They trick me all. That chair never did see me go down. I turned to point
to them.
And my chair went. They've taken my phone's thing and thrown it at me when I've been live on the air. They're
It
amazing.
made you a
They keep
little
the humor.
people.
They did. That's good. So that was the 19th. So on the 20th, yeah, I feel humbled now. I feel humble. On the 20th,
Awesome.
I go to bed. I was kind of lazy, so I have the white blanket first, and then the sheet was on top with a quilt. I wake up in the morning, and the white blanket's taken out like a clean pancake and put on top. And it's like, okay, you little tricksters. So I'm thinking I better not say it. They may shoot me up this way now. On the solstice, on the winter solstice, I go to bed, Diane's still out in the chair. And in the middle of the night, so I have my sheet, have the white blanket, and the quilt. In the middle of the night, I'm awoken, okay? It's like very high density, which a lot of people know. I've had these cosmic cousins visitations, and they're around me, and I believe I know where they're from. They're very high density beings, and they're all around me, and it's like pure love.
Yeah.
Pure love, just like my near-death experience that we talked about last show. It was pure love. And I woke up and I was like, this is really cool. I'm with family. I went back to sleep. I don't know what they did, but when I woke up, the sheet was pulled out and put on top, just as a little sense of humor. So that was a year ago. It was a year ago on the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st that I had this incredible experience. And I'm sure it was them or they could have been in cahoots with a lot of the other watchers. Look what we're going to do to Rev Ned.
Leave him a little calling card.
Yes.
Little thing he can't deny. He can't say, well, maybe that didn't happen.
I've never had this chair do that. I feel like I'm
awesome.
sitting on the...
That
I feel humbled. I feel like
gorgeous.
I'm sitting on the ground.
I love it. I love it.
Who's little now?
Stinkers
Huh?
must have hit that. I feel a little normal now instead of...
Oh my gosh,
Maybe it was the buffalo
it
spirit.
could have been Mr. Buffalo. I love
Mr.
that little
Bison.
buffalo. So
maybe that's what you were thinking that I wanted to share, because I did want to share that. It was the winter solstice.
yeah, and I knew there was something. I knew there was something else. So very quickly, because we do have wonderful people here sharing with us and here with us in our chat, I'm wondering if anybody has any questions that you'd like to ask anybody here. Because it's like we have all these beautiful people, and welcome Christy and Nancy too, who have joined us as well. And if anybody has any questions for any of us or comments or anything, we're open to that. We got a few more minutes before the show is over. So we, want to make sure that, you guys receive all the knowledge and wisdom. These two gentlemen bring in so much wisdom. I want to just be quiet and sit here and just listen to them. Because it's so wonderful. It's just such beautiful energy. And I'm so honored to be here. And Dana, I'm just so thankful and grateful that you've joined us again. And I hope you'll continue to do so, because it's just so wonderful.
Thanks to be here. You guys are great people. You're great people. We're here to make a sacred space. Like the universe has aligned this space. Let's fill it up with sacredness. We see when it's not. Let's doing things that to shift that.
Yes.
And bring us back to our own sacred heart-centeredness, and improving, strengthening, fortifying our own futures, our lives, and knowing that the great spirit is behind it. It will support us in the right ways, if in the right ways. we have to have faith and strength and willpower and knowing that, and it will manifest as we actively hold the space for it, to allow it to do so.
And I'm so grateful to be in this space with you, gentlemen, and with all of our people that are here. We have Bushy B says hello, and Nancy saying thank you, and Aisha is saying no questions, but thank you all for the wonderful wisdom. I send you the light from Australia on the summer solstice. So we have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My kangaroo sister.
Before I like to share a little something on the winter solstice.
Bring it, because I don't want to be done. I'm loving this energy. So
it's tomorrow at 4:48, right?
Ooh.
It's tomorrow at 4:48 Eastern time.
Yep.
Eastern time. And so we have the sun will start shining more.
Yeah.
Right? So it's about our star and about darkness and how we can connect that to all that's happened this year to us.
Yeah.
All the things we've gone through mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, relationship wise, higher energy wise, whatever it may be. And there's something really, really simple if people don't have access to or understand true ceremony. That's the reason I reached for the candle. I have a candle over here burning and a candle here. I love praying with candles. But tomorrow, just spend some time. If you have a candle, just light it and think about it and use that energy and use that fire and the oxygen and this scent. What is this scent? Favorite denim. and just spend time with it and giving thanks for all that you've gone through, good, bad, pretty, and ugly this year, to think about what you want to release. Just like I mentioned in the video, or all the leaves. There's some trees that still have the leaves still on, but most of them are down around here. But they teach us to release things in the fall and let them rest. Let the Earth Mother take care of them. So we just spend a few minutes with the sacred flame, which is there's fire in every one of your cells out there, which is amazing. And just do a little releasing. Just give it to the candle, give it to the four directions, give it the wind. You can do the same thing in a shower or in a bath. But just since we're talking about the light, and more light will be showing each day, is to be that light. We don't want to carry those unnecessary energy, which I talked on the bridge video. But this is a great time to think about transitions within our heart space, within our mind space, within our sense, and prepare for more brightness in our lives as the sun becomes more and more and more. And I just wanted to, because darkness can be a great teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the things that I've gone through, the chronic Lyme, the stroke last year, all the heart things that have been going, they're great teachers if you allow them to teach. And it's like the buffalo. This is west. This is west. Like the buffalo, and the storm's coming. Just keep going. Just keep going through the storm. And instead of being the Eeyore, oh my, what am I going to do? I'm going to go this way. No. Well, let's go through all of these things, and we can be prepared for what's coming next year.
Yeah.
Next year. So it's not letting the darkness overwhelm us, but taking control of those energies, releasing what we don't want, learning from them, and then release them. Because we're here for so higher reasons. And all these things, the Chinoopa, the buffalo calf woman, the buffalo, the bison, they can teach us the four directions, the entities and energies in the directions, and above and below us, and in the center of all that. And to me, it's just every day is an amazing day to get up and give thanks and go on.
Yeah.
So the solstice is like a time to be still and to let that light strengthen within us day as the sun. And we can connect with our star. Yeah. I love to say good morning to the star and east. And at night when it's warmer, I'm out there every night watching our star go down, and what we can learn from the sky rivers and from our star and all the energy. There's so much around us that we can tune into. It's within us, and that we can connect to all of that. So
Thank you. It's so beautiful. And that way, if we're paying attention to all that, maybe we won't have a buffalo dinosaur run up behind us. We won't have to get our attention like that.
it sounds like a watcher over them and for your daughter.
Yeah, which is
when you were sharing that, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was I wasn't expecting that one.
That was so cool. What a great story.
But it was beautiful because it was running. It was running from the south towards the north, and in a physical geographical sense that's what it was doing.
Wow.
And like jeepers creepers, so. It's amazing how so okay, one more thing. with these shifting of seasons and things. So because we're talking about a pipe, a sacred pipe, and this time of year, and what happens during this time of the year is they're contracting,
Mm-hmm.
they're constricting, they're concentrating, they're not moving so much. They're concentrating. They're condensing, and like so in the same way with. So what's used for tobacco, then a natural tobacco is the red twig willow,
Mm-hmm.
and basically what happens is from around this year, obviously around the colder it gets, the less water that it drinks, and so basically, so from this period that we've just come into up through. At least around March, it's going to be dropping water, and so the water will be falling out and they'll be separating. So, around February, you harvest the traditional chinchasa, and like there will be like a separation between it's almost separated out because all the water will have dropped out. So it'll make for it's an easier processing of the tobacco, to be used. It wasn't, big tobacco leaves per se. That's not what they used. They used, what was already growing everywhere around them in a good way, So from this time right now, all through that season until basically the Christ returns, it's dropping water and it's preparing to, and it's being harvested. We're fortifying our positions. We're framing. We're reviewing. We're reviewing the past. We're releasing what needs to get released. We're framing our futures, and we're holding the space for what we need to see.
Yeah.
And when we I speak for myself when I say this. The more that gets done, the more often it appears. We should be stubborn in the right ways. We're here to make things happen. You know what that is at least half spirit, is at least half spiritual in orientation. At least, you know, we're here to share frequency. The frequency that we are. It is the foundation for all of our futures. You know. And like, yeah, framing a positive one as best we can. That's all we can do.
I love how you did that too, how it's concentrating. And as it's concentrating, we're getting more powerful and more impactful too.
We're letting go of that dead weight's it's not there no more. It's not in our backpack. We've, you know, it's out of the way. And like now it's you know, it's useful. It's more productively useful, you know, instead of just being Jello in our hands or whatever, you know what I mean? With a little substance in it.
Got some oomph. Oh my God, so wonderful.
Michele, I want to thank everybody that is with us tonight out there. I see Mr. Mike Dinkle is with us.
Mike, I love Mike, yay!
And for those who will see this afterwards and watch it, thank you so much for supporting us in these ways. And what a joy it is to come with Dana and Michele and to bring our tags, our talents, abilities, and gifts together and to be a part of this community of Bridgewalkers.
Yeah.
Mike is that other love guy.
He is that other love guy. Love the Mike. And we just have everybody who's here. You're all love people. And you're drawn here because our frequencies, like what Dana's talking about, are all matching. And those that are watching later too, as you're listening to this and receiving the love that we're here to share through this particular venue. Bushy is saying, Bill here. Hi, Rev Ned, Bill here. And we're so grateful.
That's Billy. He's amazing. Amazing.
Oh,
welcome. Say young man. Yes. Yes.
Yay, we're so honored. We're so honored you guys are here and we're super happy. And, you know, I don't think we set, I'm getting chills. Woo, woo, there's some good energy coming in. Oh, when I get those chills running through, it's like, holy moly. We haven't set our date for our next Bridgewalkers, I don't think. So we will let you guys know. Did we set one, Rev Ned?
I don't
for January.
If we set one for January or not.
The Virgo here is not holding the reins very well. But we'll get that set up and let you guys know.
Yes.
And we thank you guys. We thank you guys so much. And happy holidays. Happy love and light that you are. Be who you are. Shine your light. Let everyone know who you are. You're beautiful and you're wonderful and you're precious and you're sacred just where you are and how you are right now. Yes. And you're valuable too. That was a word that just popped into my head. You're valuable. We're so grateful. We're so grateful you're here.
This is true.
So grateful. So please feel free, leave a message on the YouTube channel if you have any questions or anything comes up, and that's for people that are watching later as well. I come back and check, and I think Rev Ned does too. And we just say, I love you. We love you guys. Happy holidays. Happy light. Return of the light.
Happy beautiful solstice.
Happy solstice. Happy white buffalo.
Happy everybody. Happy.
I don't want to stop, but I have to. Keep on sparkling.
Blessings to you all. Blessings.
Blessings.
Take care.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.